to What It Takes to Own. Today we're learning what it takes to own a Nissan GTR. And today in the chair we have Chaz. Chaz, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. We're freezing. It's January here in Utah, but we're making our way. So tell us about this car that's here behind us. What's the spec? What year? Things like that.
Okay, this is a 2009 GTR, R35 GTR to be specific. Premium edition.
So why this car in particular? Why'd you choose this one?
So when I was a kid, I've always been enamored, and I've always loved Japanese domestic model JDM type cars. When I got enough money, even in my early 20s, I bought my first one, which was a 2004 Subaru WRX STI. Me and my wife bought the car, and we had it for a while. And my wife has an uncle. They bought this car and they brought it to Thanksgiving dinner. We brought our 2004 WRX STI to Thanksgiving dinner, not knowing he's going to show up in this thing. And I walked in and I tried to like keep my cool when I was like, "Hey, Steve, is that a GTR? Is that your GTR out there?" He's like, "You know what that is?"
And trying to play it cool, like
yeah, I
not
was
be too
trying
excited.
to play it as cool as possible.
Yeah,
but
so nonchalant.
I was freaking out in my head because I'd never even laid eyes on it. I didn't even know they were in Utah yet. And immediately he's like, "Dude, let's go for a ride." And he took me for a ride in this thing, and I fell in love with it, right?
Absolutely.
And my goal from then was to just try to do my best to own one of these, just one of them. You know, fast forward 10, 12 years later, Steve's ready to unload the thing. And he calls me. He's like, "Hey, man, do you want to buy this car off of me?" And the answer was immediately yes. But then also I had to ask my wife, and then we had to make sure we had the funds for it.
Absolutely.
Which we did, which, you know, we were very lucky to be in a position to own the car at the time. And now we own it.
The one you saw back in 2009
Yeah,
ended up being the one that is parked in your garage
not
every
just
night.
the make and model and year, but the exact vehicle.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. So tell us, what has been the most surprising part about owning the car? Like, obviously you were familiar with it long before you ever got ownership, but like, what has really been different about it since owning it?
Man, it's a real head turner. I'll tell you that much. Everybody loves it. We take it to car meets, and you know, it is a focus of these car meets. And some of the car meets we take it to are car shows, like the older school car shows we take it to. A lot of the guys with the classic cars really like the car. I didn't really think much about that when we first got it, but yeah, that part of it's just pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even for it being 16 years old, 17 years old now at this point, like, it still looks brand new. Like, the design feels like it's pretty timeless, and no matter how much time transpires, it feels like something that you could see come off the factory line today and still think it's cutting edge.
Yeah, the 35, they didn't change it a whole lot. So it is pretty ubiquitous, pretty seamless as far as the design goes. And it's kind of one of those cars, if you know, you know. It is that one.
Oh, absolutely. So what's been the best parts about owning it?
To be honest, man, the same thing I talked about a second ago, like that sense of community with the car. Like I said, we owned a 2004 STI, but when I was younger, I don't think there was a lot of like Cars and Coffee, or there's a Cars and Curry down here. Shout out to those guys. It's awesome. But I don't think there was a lot of meets like that when I was younger. But when we got this one, we kind of tapped into that community, and it's been super fun to just go meet up with people and learn about their builds. I mean, you don't have to have a Godzilla. You don't have to have the GTR to go to these meets. You don't have to have anything crazy.
You'll see all types of cars
Oh,
there.
yeah. Anything from like, you know, $5,000 builder specials to like $1 million cars, you know, Bugattis and things. The one thing that surprised me about it is like everybody just loves cars. They love all types of cars. They're not going to crap on you because you have, you know, a car that's not worth as much money or whatever. They love the cars. They love the scene. I love being part of it.
Absolutely. That's something that I've noticed is the difference between meeting people in person and like a smaller percentage of people online, I guess. But when I meet people in person and they see me in the Aston, or if I see somebody else and I'm talking to them about their Porsche or something like that, it's all that same thing where people are very friendly. They're very passionate about these things. And it's always a very integrated community. Some of my experience online, talking to some of you guys, not so nice about things, but
They
it's
always
all
have
fun and
something to
games.
say.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fine.
So, what have been some of the more frustrating parts of it, or if there's been any downsides to owning this car?
Not a ton. I mean, cost of ownership's a little high for sure. A lot of maintenance that goes into these things, and a lot of just like everyday stuff you got to do to them. I mean, it is a race car, and it's a built race car at that. So you have to just keep up on things. I mean, tires are expensive. Everything's
Oh,
kind of
for sure.
spendy. I would say it's frustrating or unforeseen. Like we knew it was going to happen, but if I was to point at any sort of negative, I guess that would be it.
Just cost of ownership, maintenance, things like that.
Yeah. And I guess like everybody on the road wants to race you.
Oh yeah,
They pull up and they just like they want to see what it has. So they'll just start, next to you. And at times you're like, oh man, come on. Like, I don't want to race right now. We're in the middle of traffic on State Street or whatever.
yeah.
But most of the time I'll give them a little pull or something so they could hear it because just like me, yeah, anytime I see something cool on the road, I'm like, oh man, look at that.
Especially when you can hear it before you see
Yeah.
it, that really gets my attention. I'm just like, okay, what's
Where is
around
it?
here? Yeah. So have you had any interesting experiences of going for it at like a stoplight or something? Has anybody ever beaten you in this thing?
Aside from an EV,
Uh,
aside from the
those don't
plaid.
count. No, we're throwing those out.
Yeah, no, I don't like them. I'm just biased. But no, I gotta have to say no, man. My buddy rented a Lambo, and he's pretty sure he's gonna smoke me in this thing, man. And I gapped him by like 3 car lengths. He had no idea, dude.
People
Um,
underestimate these, like, even if they, or I guess people that know cars will understand, but if people aren't super familiar with what this car is all about, they're gonna be surprised by how quick it is.
oh yeah, for sure. Not only that, I mean, it's not stock at all. It's like 900 or so horsepower to the wheels, so it's built and it's fast and it's surprising. It's
Gotcha.
surprising how fast it
So
is.
tell us some of the modifications that you've done to this car or have been done to this car over its lifetime.
So Steve, he did some modifications right off the get-go. He put bigger turbos in it, and a different front mount intercooler, and he put bigger injectors and a couple of other things, a few bolt-ons, but now it's full bolt-on. It's running on E85 on an Ecutech tune. Not only that, he did bigger injectors. He did a few other things to it. Did a really nice tune on it. Put bigger fuel pumps in it, and it just screams, dude. This thing's it's amazing.
Absolutely. I actually heard him coming to
To
this
this spot.
spot. Like I said before, I even saw him. I knew that he was coming just by the way this car sounds, and it sounds incredible. After all this journey, the build, the seeing it for the first time 17 years ago, would you buy it again? Would you go on this endeavor again?
This car, this car, I'd buy this car every freaking day of the week. But would I buy another one? I'd say no, only because I want to own different things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not that I hate this car, or there's any reason not to buy one, but you only live so long, man. So I want to try and own a few different makes, models, versions of different things. I'd really like to have a Mark IV Supra maybe one day, or a Porsche of some kind, or I don't know, maybe some classic. Who knows? But yeah, that'd be the only reason I wouldn't buy another one, is because I would just want to continue this car journey down the road.
That makes a ton of sense. So Chaz, tell us what you do for a living. How does somebody get themselves into a position of owning an R35?
Okay. Well, currently I'm a city forester. I'm an arborist by trade. I have been for 25 years or so. I really started in the industry out of necessity, basically.
Mhm.
I was going to school, and I wasn't really feeling the academic side of things. I was really kind of an outdoors sort of guy. And I kind of gravitated to like outdoors work. And I found a job in the arboriculture industry, just trees in general. And worked in that for a contract company for a lot of years. And then the reason why I was able to buy this car in particular is I started my own business. I think entrepreneurship is key to, owning something like this. You can find a lot of really good careers that'll afford you something like this, but I think, the fastest track to doing something like owning a supercar or getting something or getting ahead a little bit is entrepreneurship,
Taking
yeah,
ownership of the things that you
yeah,
do, the time that you spend.
exactly. Going out and trying to get it for yourself. So, arboriculture, it was the name of the company we started and, owned that for 12 years and then was able to sell it. And
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks, man. Um, and then now I'm a city forester for Provo.
What does arborism really entail? Like, what was your trade? Like, are you grooming plants? Are you like cutting trees down? Kind of talk us through what your trade actually was.
Yeah, so we trim trees, we remove them, we beautify trees, we do plant health care, stump grinding, complete removal, anything tree is what we do, diagnosis, tree disorders. Um, as my career's progressed, it's been more academic, I guess.
So the
I
thing you were trying to get away from eventually
exactly
just like circled back.
circled back at me a little bit.
That's awesome. So what were some of the challenges that you faced along the way? Lessons that you learned, things of that nature.
Um, yeah, yeah, big challenges, man. One of them's working out in this weather. It could be late January, early February, just snowing like crazy, bunch of snow hanging on the branches of a tree. You got to go to the top of it, right? So, that was a challenge. Trying to keep yourself positive, keep the morale as high as you could while doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
But again, dude, just like I said with the car community, it's just a sense of community you get around the guys who are doing the hard work. As challenging as it was, if you could find that community, like you guys are all kind of suffering out there together, so you just kind of move through it. So,
absolutely. What were some of the key decisions or sacrifices that you had to make to ultimately find a level of success that got you behind the wheel of this thing?
well, I did have to step back from my initial career just a little bit. It was a very secure, kind of a higher paying career. And I had to take a little bit of a step back to do my own thing and to start my own business. And at first, it was kind of like a roller coaster, right? It's like there's highs and lows, and then kind of finally hit my stride. But after that, after the money aspect of it started to look more positive, the thing that kind of fell away was my free time. Um, at the time when I first started the company, I still had a young family, and I still do. My kids are still teenagers, and um, I love that, and I love being around them. And but the thing at the time was just like, yeah, I don't have time for friends. Like my buddies would call, "Hey, man, we're gonna watch the game tonight. You gonna come over?" No, I'm doing invoicing. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. There's really not a lot of time for extra stuff. There's not a lot of time for family vacations. Shoot, dude, there's not a lot of time for watching your kids' sporting events or anything like that. You're kind of sequestered to the grind of it. Like I have to make this happen so that I can progress my career down the road tomorrow.
Absolutely. Is that ultimately what you found was taking away from the things that you wanted to do in life, where you eventually transitioned out of the business that you were in and tried to find yourself in more of an organization that was established?
Exactly. That is you said it perfectly, dude. Yeah, I got to a point where I was missing too many swim meets. I was missing jujitsu tournaments my youngest was doing. And I was getting the feeling of just like, okay, we only have so much time. We're not gonna get these years back. And my daughter's gonna grow up and be like, oh, dad came to one or two, but he was never really there. So I got the opportunity to sell, got a really good price too. But aside from that, the biggest positive of it was the time I get to spend with these girls now and just be able to watch them grow up.
Your car is great. You're doing great. Do you have 30 seconds of wisdom and insights that you could give to our audience here? Just whatever you feel like they need to hear to ultimately realize the things that they want to accomplish.
What I would say is don't be afraid to go out and do it for yourself a little bit. Don't be afraid to have audacious goals and go out there and try to get them. And don't be afraid also, to contradict myself a little bit, to do stuff that you want to do, to get out there, go on little vacations, dude. We don't have tomorrow isn't guaranteed. We're not going to be around forever. So you probably want to spend some of that time doing the things you want to do.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. This has been What It Takes to Own, and now you know what it takes to own a GTR. Thank you to Chaz and for taking the seat.
Yeah.
Chaz, where can they keep up with you? What do you want the people to know?
I'm not real big on the socials or whatever. I'm on IG. It's just Chaz_Addis, but it's just mostly like jujitsu content and stuff like that. But other than that, I just want to shout out a couple of people. PPC Brad Jepson in Salt Lake, who helped me build this car. Like I said, if you know, he's the only guy around to take your GTR to. Don't even look around, just go to that guy. Other than that, a couple of my boys, Izzy and McKay at Committed Till Death Jiu-Jitsu gear, they always hook me up with the coolest stuff. So shout out to those guys, and mostly shout out to Stephen K for giving me the opportunity to own this car. So much appreciated.
Amazing. Well, thank you for being in the seat today. If you want to hear more stories like this and know what it takes to own various cars, be sure to subscribe, hit the follow button, and see you next time.